See, posting the tweet. We are live, my brother. Welcome, man. How you feeling today, man? After that double homecoming trip this weekend.
My body is weary. My soul is filled, happy. I see you. They don't know what they're walking into today, boy.
Y'all
but we told y'all, and we
told
warned y'all.
And
y'all didn't want to believe us.
I said, don't let us win more than 2 games. We in the pregame, though. We in the pregame. But I told y'all, I said, don't let us win more than 2 games. I said it. I know I said it. Because it was taped. And y'all made fun of me for saying it. And told me I was tripping. Which is okay.
What else did they tell you?
Said I was foolish.
What else did they tell you?
They said that the Falcons weren't going to win. And that they told me that I was smoking a bag of male genitalia if I think that the Falcons were going to finish at least second in the division, is what they told me. I want to make sure y'all look in my eyes. I'm going to take these off for a second because I gotta make sure. This is what y'all told me. Y'all told me that. And I told y'all, all I said was okay. I don't never start the trash talk. If you know me, you know me because you a Florida fan. We'll get there too. You know me. I don't start the trash talk. I don't. I don't start the trash talk, but I'm gonna show enough end it every time. I've lost friends. Don't care. That means if I lost friends over trash talk, if you could trash talk me, and then when I trash talk you back, you ain't my friend, and you weren't my friend to begin with. So I don't really care about them either.
Facts.
I've lost friends. I've lost people. I'm not even friends. I still have friends, but they refuse to watch games with me. That's fine. When my teams are down bad, y'all be in my ear all the time. And I be sitting there humbly. I be like, you know what? You right. I talk trash with you until you get to that point where I can't talk trash no more. Then I'm like, you know what? You right. You got it. You got it. Unless you the Patriots. Then I piss on y'all grave. But anybody else.
And on y'all downfall. Jesus.
Anybody else. You know, I'm very humble about my team. But I always say, I said, what's the one thing I tell you? Don't let us win. Don't let it, because I don't forget. I do not forget. And sometimes if it's real bad, I'll write it down. But anyway, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. For those that are tuning in to the live, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to ATL Edition of episode 76 of the Splash Cast. I don't even know what we're going to call it. We might as well call this whole season of the Falcons We Told Y'all So. I am your co-host, your winning co-host, Reggie.
I am your winning co-host, Norwood. And I mean, at this point, we're still in the pregame, but I'm thinking maybe like numero uno.
Numero uno?
Yes, because we are number 1.
Ooh.
I don't want people to forget that. I don't want y'all to misconstrue that. I don't want y'all to think it's anything less than what it is. But for sure, if you go look on your Google search and type in NFC South, you will find the team that nobody believed in at number 1.
2 and
15. And in the words of Khaled, God did.
God did.
We told y'all. We sat here and told y'all. Y'all told us we were fools. That's fine. But let's get to some uplifting news first.
We back. We told y'all we was back. We said the Falcons were back, and guess who else is back? And he rock with Atlanta. One of the few people from Louisiana that rock with Atlanta. My man. I ain't gonna say my man, but my funny guy to follow.
Oh, that's my guy. I like him. I don't care if y'all don't like him. That's fine. I like him.
BOOSIE. That's him. Wipe him down. And I was about to be disrespectful, but I got families that are Kappas, so I ain't gonna say nothing. But I was about to say your favorite Kappa's favorite Kappa.
I will say that. Your favorite Kappa's favorite Kappa. I'm fine with it. Yeah, I said it. Right. He probably had that Kappa shirt on today or yesterday. But I'm happy to see him back. I know that him and the Atlanta Hawks had a kind of tumultuous situation there for a little bit. Him being a longtime supporter of this team is great. Specifically, when we first started the podcast, he was the winning post for a very long time. So, you know, I'm happy to see T Hatch back with the Hawks. And happy to see him cleared and have his seasons back.
Yeah, man, he's got. I mean, that's a way for him to make money. So it is good that he is back, but he just knocked himself out. I know that hurt. Good to see Boosie back. Whether you love him or hate him, you know that he's entertaining. So, you got it. It's good to have him back, man. Let's. I want to talk about this real quick.
This is disappointing.
For the first time since 1950, such an occurrence has happened. 3 years, and that was 3 years after Jackie Robinson broke the MLB color barrier. After it took 3 years to get somebody else, American-born black person to play. The World Series is to begin with no U.S.-born black players on the team rosters. None. Zero. Zilch. And for all of our supporters, all of our listeners, first time, last time, and consistent, we always say, what do you always end the episode with, Norwood?
More black baseball.
More black baseball.
And I know a lot of times y'all think we just say stuff because we're crazy lunatics. But no, we keep our eye on this. We do see what's going on in the world of sports, specifically baseball. And Reggie, big baseball supporter, specifically the Atlanta Braves. But it's not just about the Braves. It's the support. It's the influence. It's the opportunity. And for MLB to have this happen is extremely unfortunate. I think that it needs to be noticed. I think it needs to be brought to the forefront. And not only, I mean, it's bad. And I don't want to pile on. But it's like anything else. It can be fixed. It should be fixed. Because we have the athletes.
We have the athletes to play in just about any sport on earth. It's going to
that's the Atlanta Braves, Mike Harris.
It's going to take some intentionality from Major League Baseball. You are going to have to invest if you want more black baseball. If you want more black baseball, it will take you will have to be intentional, and you will have to invest you will have to try to get notoriety out to the black community. Because I know one thing, I know a lot of people my father's age, they used to love baseball, my dad included. But when I know a lot of people in Atlanta, they stopped watching baseball when they got rid of all the black players. For a long time, Atlanta didn't have any black players. After Otis Nixon, Ron Gant,
Terry Pendleton,
Fred McGriff,
Ron Gant,
Terry
Justice,
Pendleton, David Justice. Right, we just rattled off 6 players. Those were all starters, and they won the World Series. Deion, how can you forget about Prime? Deion, you had all of those black
Andrew
baseball
Jones.
players. You're not American born, but you know what I mean.
You're right.
But I'm saying,
I was about to, I can't throw Rafael for a call of none of them people in there. You're right.
And we don't want to short. And I'm glad you brought that up too. I don't want people to think that we're shortchanging non-American born black and Spanish, black and brown.
Not
people.
At all.
But
not at all.
The same way that the NBA invests in basketball in the inner city and invests in basketball in Africa, the same way the NFL goes to, in college football, goes to all of these rural towns and has all of these give backs and all of that stuff. That's because the black players influence that. Well, the only way that you are going to get your notoriety to black players is to have black players. You can't relegate them to the AAA, AA, and move some players up and leave other ones down there. It can't be political.
And it's a lot of the barriers to entry of baseball. Baseball is a very expensive sport to play.
Good point.
You got to play travel baseball. If you're good, you have to play travel baseball to get to that next level, to get the visibility. Football, you play on your team. You play for a team in the city.
Yeah, for the most part. Football, yeah.
Basketball is kind of like baseball, especially now with the influence of AAU. But you have Nike who's sponsoring these teams, or Adidas who's sponsoring these teams. There has to be, because they know that they're going to see the return on their investment. Hey, if I sign these teams, I'm going to be able to start a relationship with this kid very early, have him in my stuff, wearing my brand. So when it's time for him to get to the NBA, hey, you've been with Nike for so long, you just reach out to your rep, and I'm sure it's not a very difficult call to make. Well, that's what it's going to take. It's going to take a concerted effort from the MLB, number one, but it's also going to take a concerted effort from Nike, Adidas, etc. on the baseball investment, just like you do with basketball.
Exactly. You're definitely going to have to invest. And what is one thing that baseball has been trying to do? They have been trying to make it more interesting. They have trying to make it to get more people involved. They're trying to get more notoriety and have. That's why you see all these baseball rules of speeding up the game and doing all of this stuff, allowing bat flips. Well, I'm gonna let you know right now, ain't no more entertaining people on earth than black people. Can't nobody else have more flair on earth than black people.
Do what we do.
And I don't want to just say just blacks, but that's what we're talking about right now. So if you want, that's how the NBA was able to increase the salary cap every year. That's how you're able to get those monstrous contracts, even though you have a salary cap. That's how you're able to. The NFL is able to have 7 or 8 TV deals every 4 years. Now you on Amazon Prime. You on. They were on Nickelodeon for the Super Bowl. They have NBC. The NFL has and then they have their own package because they reach out to a broader audience. Baseball's audience is too narrow.
But if you really look at it, now that we've kind of had this conversation, which is the reason I wanted to have this conversation, is baseball doesn't really deal with hip hop at all on any level,
other than the walk-up songs.
If you look at the Super Bowl, you have people perform: Snoop, Eminem, Dr. Dre, etc., Jay-Z, all of that. Then you look at basketball, you can literally go to any game and just look at the sideline. We just talked about, this is not the most famous person in the world, but Boosie. Mm-hmm. You go to a baseball game, tell me you've seen a hip-hop artist there.
None. You'll never see any. None.
And I mean, that's a big part of it.
Case in point, we are big Braves fans, big Braves supporters. The Braves Stadium for years was in the black part of town, southwest Atlanta, south side of Atlanta, ain't really west, south side of Atlanta, over there by Turner Field. Over there by what's now present day Georgia State, Atlanta Metro. They then moved to Cobb County. Atlanta is
strategically
one of, if not the blackest city in the country. And when you move your team, city team, to Cobb County and say that's where most of our fan demographic is, you've now alienated I ain't gonna say the majority because it's still, white, but you've alienated an entire race. You got to go to Cobb County, and if you're from Georgia, Georgia and Cobb County blacks in Cobb County just started being comfortable there. Just started.
Comfortable is getting there. I still think that's a work in progress.
Okay, comfortability is a work in progress. So the undertones that you have in baseball is we don't necessarily cater. It's not a black sport. We don't cater to the black people, and we don't involve the black people. And this is showing it. They saying since 1953. You know what else was happening in 1953? The fight for civil rights. They just got past discrimination, and we still are doing stuff from back here.
Yeah, this is disappointing. It's highly disappointing. And it's baseball kind of is doing it to themselves. It's losing popularity, and people are just not as interested. But you won't involve Black people. You won't involve the hip hop culture, which is the most influential music genre in the world right now. That to me, I would say it's mind boggling, but it's not.
It's not for what we've seen.
It's just you being you, but you being you is getting your ass whooped by baseball and basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So hopefully there will be more Black baseball. We will continue to champion more Black baseball. Any baseball players that want to come on the podcast, I don't know of any other podcast, and everybody that listens to multiple, you let me know of any other podcast that talks about more Black baseball than we do in terms of promoting baseball. Now, I will say other ones do talk about it, but not as much as we do. Especially when we don't have the connections yet as the other major markets do. Moving on. Your man. I don't know if I've seen. Is he the most hyped NBA prospect? And when I say hyped NBA prospect, it's Victor Wembanyama from France. He is the overwhelming favorite to be the number one pick and probably the most hyped prospect in our lifetime or NBA history.
I feel tricky about that part. I think it's still LeBron.
Think so?
We knew, because you knew what LeBron was in 8th grade. I had a LeBron throwback high school jersey. I feel like last year this time I didn't know who Victor was.
No, he did kind of like burst on the scene, like
exactly.
He's what 17, so yeah. He didn't get as early a start, but also you knew who LeBron was in 8th grade because LeBron was also in America, right? And also LeBron played only basketball. Most people in Europe, they play other stuff. Giannis played soccer. Victor played soccer, and he was a goalie. Tim Duncan, who was in St. Paul, was a swimmer. All of that stuff. So LeBron's first love and only love was basketball. Most European-born players...
Play football, too.
Oh, football player. Most European-born players are soccer. So...
Yeah.
But the thing is, now that you bring that up, I don't understand how there wasn't more hype early because he's 7'4", and it ain't like he grew 14 inches in a year. No, he's been tall his whole life.
Yeah, and you would assume, seeing his skill level, that it's not like he just picked this up. It's not like he's just tall and that's it. He can shoot. Excuse me. He can dribble. He can do a little bit. He can do a little bit of everything.
Bless you.
So, somebody just missed the boat. Marketing department. I don't know where you were or what you were thinking, but, you should have had this guy on TV.
Well, the NBA got him now. The NBA has announced that they will stream every game of Victor Wembanyama and his team, the Metropolitan 92s, in 2022-2023 season on the NBA app. And the first one just got streamed yesterday. And the thing is, he's kind of lived up to the hype so far, but also his caliber of competition isn't as high as he would be playing in the NBA. But I don't know how. This is why I think he's the most. I've never seen them say we're going to play all his games. We're going to streaming. Of course, wasn't out with LeBron, but I ain't never heard. You
remember they did televise LeBron's high school games.
Not all of them. They only televised him when he played Carmelo. It was always like a top 5 matchup. They about to stream his games whether they play somebody good or bad. It's all of them.
I don't know. I see the opportunity. They think that he's going to be a major money mover for whoever he goes to.
He is.
They say he's supposed to influence somewhere between. He's going to increase the value of their team somewhere between $500 million to $1 billion. So I get that, but just let the man get there first. Jeez, let him just Play basketball and be regular like everybody else. Like, you don't have to squeeze every red dime out of every red cent out of everything. Just let him play basketball. Because what you do run the risk of doing is ruining this man before he gets there.
Yeah, it's a tremendous amount of pressure. But he seems to live up. He seems to embrace the pressure, though. Like when he talked about old boy that he played, Scoot, and he said he would be the number one prospect if I wasn't born. I was like, boy, that is an arrogant statement right there. Just not the fact that he said it.
That's a factual.
But it's just the way that he said it. It wasn't what he said. It was the way that he said it. And I was like, dog, that is. But, I mean you 7'4", and you shooting fadeaway threes. That's the same thing
I say about Rudy Gobert.
Really?
Just don't make that many 8 feet tall people.
Well, apparently they're doing France because they got another dude that is like 16 years old that is like 7'3".
That was a hell of a segue.
They had another dude that is like 7'3". I don't know his name. We're going to talk about him on the next pregame. But he's like 16 years old, and he's 7'3" and doing everything that Victor Wembanyama is doing. And I'm like, French people are short.
Clearly not anymore.
Nope, not going to say no jokes on that. And then, finally, there's your boy. I call him sometimes the big contradiction. But there is your man LeBron, who is no longer a Cowboys fan. And I want y'all to hear what he says. It's a minute explanation of what he says. We're going to play it real quick.
This year, but I ain't heard you talk shit about the Cowboys maybe since like 1997 or something. You still a Cowboys fan?
Nah, man. I had to chill out. I had to chill out on the Cowboys, man. Like, man, there's just a lot of things that was going on during the, when guys were kneeling and guys were having, freedom of speech and wanted to do it in a very peaceful, manner. And, a lot of people in their front office and a lot of people that, ran the organization was like, if you do that around here, then you would never play, for this franchise again. And, I just didn't think that was appropriate. So
makes total sense.
I like a lot of the players on the team still. I love CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, our boy Zeke, Buckeye, I still mess with him. I love Micah Parsons. He's a dog. Oh,
he's
my
a dog.
God. Micah Parsons is a dog, Trayvon Diggs, but I had to turn it in, even though I still got a lot.
So now you all in on the Browns.
I'm all in on the Browns, and we want one shining moment.
So
go ahead.
That's cool. I'm glad if that's how he truly feels. I'm glad he took that stance. But I've seen you wear Cowboys stuff since then. But I won't even go on there because for him to say that, even though the Cowboys are 6-2, 7-1, whatever they are, that's a hell of a stance. And he has been all in on Cleveland, which is why I thought he was going to stay. He's been all in on Cleveland since then. As the Browns, though, I wonder if you feel like you second fiddle now.
Yeah, he didn't really like you. The more interesting thing to me is he alluded to it, but he didn't say who he's really talking about. Jerry Jones. That is clearly and evidently Jerry Jones. I want to know how Jerry feels about this. I would really like to know what Jerry thinks.
Yeah, and I'm gonna bring up a dynamic that we didn't talk about in the production, but I know you've thought about it. You said you want to know what Jerry thinks about this. Jerry Jones, for all intents and purposes, is the ringleader of the owners. He is the guy that which way he votes is how he tries to sway everybody. He's very out and open. LeBron has been very out and open about wanting to own the franchise. You're not going to own a franchise unless you get the majority of the owners to vote you in and agree on the sale, right? So if they start a franchise and wherever, same way he wants to do basketball, you have to get the voting of the ownership. Unless you waiting on Jerry Jones to die, if he hears this, he ain't never gonna vote you in. That's what.
Well,
yeah, that's what he waiting on.
There are a few different things to me that are at play. Number one, while Jerry does have a ton of power within the NFL, you also have to look at this from strictly a financial point of view. LeBron wants to be an owner. He is the most influential athlete in the not in the world, in the country.
Yeah, no, not in the
one
world.
of the top three in the world.
Ronaldo in the world.
Yeah. So yeah, but top 3 in the world. Whether you like him or not, it's good for business. And I think that as much as Jerry may not necessarily like him, it's clearly other owners he doesn't like at all. So I would assume the shrewd businessman that Jerry Jones is, he understands that just because I don't necessarily like what you said, and clearly you don't like me or my opinions, if the money is there to be made, I think Jerry may be okay with it. Also, I think I think that football. You said what?
That is fair. That is Jerry about that dollar.
Yeah, and also I think basketball, the basketball organization is first and foremost for LeBron. So. Getting a football team would be great, but it would be later, and it's going to be much more difficult. Basketball has 2 spots that they're just kind of holding on to, which I think they're reserving one of them for LeBron for a reason.
Las Vegas and Seattle.
Yep, I think that there is a. I don't think that there's a handshake deal, but I think there's an understanding that he will get one of those 2 teams. I think it's in the NBA's best interest to have him be a part of ownership for one of those 2 teams.
That's fair.
So yeah, I think that goes hand in hand. So if he gets the football, sure, it'll be great. And I think that eventually they'll be like, yeah, let's just make the money. But right now, he's made it very clear he has the money that once he's done with basketball, he can basically go out and get him one.
You know what else is surprising about this? You did say that it made it very clear that that's what he wants. LeBron is extremely calculated. Extremely calculated. So, and I have gone to the fact that I understand in LeBron, and I think LeBron knows that everything he does, move, says, acts, winks, whatever, is a play, right? And not a play on him, just saying it can sway anything because he's in the public eye so much. Absolutely. So I was surprised that this came out because of his aspirations to be ownership. Now, he's also very, very outspoken politically.
Too big to fail.
Very outspoken politically. So I'm not surprised on that front, and I'm actually kind of happy that he said it. So
I want to know when Jerry saw it or what Jerry said when he saw this clip, because there's no way that the most influential athlete in America says something about you and it don't hit your desk very early in the morning. And by desk, I mean somebody copied and pasted that tweet, sent it directly to him. LeBron don't fuck with you.
Well, I think,
and I wonder,
LeBron
I would like to see them in the same room. I would like to see them in the same room because as LeBron was a fan for so long, I would assume that he has Jerry Jones' contact information, which makes that even more weird.
He probably does. He definitely does. But
he was going to the games. He was on the field. And you think Jerry's...
Yeah.
Without a doubt, he has Jerry Jones' contact information.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how the fallout is. If LeBron is... We'll know something up if LeBron is seen at a Cowboys game. But, and you just lost a lot of fans.
He can't be seen at a Cowboys game now.
The same fans that are LeBron fans and Laker fans are Cowboys fans if you're not from that place. So, we'll see the fallout of it. But, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a shot.
It was. Ladies and gentlemen.
Quick Scope Davis, baby.
We have come to the end of the ATL Edition pregame. 30 minutes, I know, but it was some things that had to be said. We had to talk about black baseball. We had to talk about LeBron and the Cowboys. We had to talk about NBA drinking the Kool-Aid or serving the Kool-Aid of Victor Wembanyama. Wembanyama.
Oh, they serving it.
And then Boosie out here. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and shine up these glasses, get my grill ready, and I'm going to set this on fire because we are going to the ATL edition of episode 76 of the Splashcast where we talk about the Falcons, Hawks / Dream, and the Braves. The first place division leading Falcons.
Much better.
So if you haven't had a chance, this is the end of the pregame. Y'all click on over to the episode because there's gonna be some fire and brimstone. See y'all soon.
No, it's gonna be a party. First place party, baby.
Both for both. Ayy, and if you ain't know, we was pushing that P for show. That shit in my veins, I've been feeling like both. If my pockets get low, better come out for hoe. Ayy, them fiends at the door. We was busting it down for the low. Come and shop at my spot if you trying to stow. We had hard out the back and the front for the nose. Ayy, my block in control. You know I rip 600. Nigga playing this bitch, then I'm up in my post. Spot him out and whoever he with gotta go. These niggas ain't taking shit, that's on my soul. Tell us, man, bitch, we up on the road. Stay with them sticks, we got straps on the road. He teed out, he gon' rock while I roll. These niggas pussy, but internet trolls. Niggas playing, his brains gotta go. Think that he sleep, then he lame in the hoe. Nigga tripping, get put in the frame in this hoe. Hit the club, and I bet it's gon' rain in this hoe. If I hit it up night, ain't no name in the hoe. I'm a stepper, think I need a cane in this hoe. If I fuck the hoe once, ain't no tame in the hoe. You can step in this water, it's dangerous though. Nigga chains on his hood, ain't no changing me though. Shit, I'm still the same nigga with braids or a fro. You can pick any lane, either way we can go. These niggas ain't having that shit like they say they is. I know, it was just me and my brothers at the store. We was hitting good licks, going both for both. Ayy, and if you ain't know, we was pushing that P for show. That shit in my veins, I've been feeling like both. If my pockets get low, better come out for hoe. Ayy, them fiends at the door. We was busting it down for the low. Come and shop at my spot if you trying to stow. We had hard out the back and the front for the nose.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 76 of the Splashcast. I am your co-host, Reggie.
I'm your co-host, Norwood. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling fantastic. I'm feeling like I'm in first place. I am ready to pod. I'm ready to talk that shit today, boy.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, so y'all know how it goes with the Splashcast ATL edition. We like to start off with the pregame. If you're listening now, you haven't had a chance to go back and listen to the pregame, I'll tell you it's worth it. Boosie is back. We talked about LeBron not being a Cowboys fan, Victor Wembanyama being served up. The Wembanyama hype is being served up by the NBA. And, of course, there's no black baseball players in the World Series for the first time since 1950. American-born black baseball players.
More black baseball for the people in the back. More black baseball.
Yep. So what I'm going to do is since we normally start off with the Braves, but Braves season is over with, so we're gonna talk about them last. It's off season. Right now it is Falcons and Hawks season, and we're gonna start off with the Falcons. So I'm gonna take a second, stretch out a little bit. Drink my water.
Yeah, my voice ain't voicing like it really should, because I told y'all I did 2 homecomings one day. They called that the buy one, get one. It was fantastic. It was wonderful. And we will talk about that when the HBCU segment comes tomorrow for Monday Night Raw. But right now, the time is to talk about these first place Falcons.
So, y'all see it? Y'all see it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons, the team picked to finish 32 out of 32. The team that was picked to win 2 games. 2 out of 17. We were picked to go 2-15. The Atlanta Falcons are leading the division. I'm going to say it again because y'all don't be believing me.
Let me turn the volume up.
Y'all don't be believing us when we say things like the Atlanta Falcons are a good team and that y'all weren't listening to us. Y'all don't believe us when we say that. The Falcons at 4-4. Yes, we know the division is shit, but we told y'all the division was shit. We told y'all the Saints weren't good. I told y'all Baker Mayfield wasn't good. I said Tom Brady and the Buccaneers were going to get a whole bunch of people that are old and they hurt. And the Falcons were there. The Falcons are 4-4 and leading the division. Right now, we will have the number 4 seed in the playoffs, and we will host a playoff game. That's pretty damn good. In 8 games, we've doubled the win total that everybody, all the experts, predicted us to win. We told y'all so. I told y'all I was going to be nice and chill. I wasn't going to be crazy. I wasn't going to go off. But I do need to address. I'm going to let you talk, Dorwood, but I got to address some people.
Don't worry, I might pull me up a drink while we do that. Go ahead. Enjoy yourself.
I went to Baton Rouge, Jackson, Mississippi to see Southern University versus Jackson State. Game of the day and the SWAC, really game of the year. I was on the way home when the Falcons were playing the Panthers. I was driving home, so I didn't get to see the game. But you know what happened while I was driving? A whole lot of people in Durham, North Carolina. A whole lot of people in Charlotte, North Carolina. A whole lot of people not from North Carolina that are Panthers fans. I don't know why. Decided to hit my phone. Now, if you know me, you know Reggie don't talk a lot of trash off top. I'm a very humble fan. I'm a fan of the Georgia Bulldogs, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Atlanta Braves, and the Atlanta Hawks. All of that for most of my life, other than 1995, before last year, was perpetual disappointment. Every year. So I'm very, very humble. I don't talk a lot of trash. I don't talk a lot of trash. Or I don't start a lot of trash talk. But Dorwood, you my co-host. You've been my friend for many a year now. You know. You know. I don't start the trash talk, but I'm going to end it. And what is one thing I say when you trash talking me and my team is down bad? I say, you better not let us win. You better not let us win because you ain't never going to hear the end of it. Carolina, y'all some shit. Y'all went and hired a dude and fired a dude and hired a dude and fired a dude at coach. Y'all went and hired a dude at quarterback, fired a dude. Went and hired a dude and fired a dude at quarterback. Y'all went and got an Arena League player. Shout out to PJ Walker, man. I listen, the fact that you did what you doing and you doing that and taking the bull by the horns and taking control of and doing what you can is awesome.
And threw a bomb too. That was a beautiful bomb at the end of regulation.
But what you won't do is get me to shut up after y'all lost. It's been real silent. My phone ain't on silent. It's on. The ringer on right now. Ain't none of y'all here.
Right now.
Ain't no emojis. Ain't no jokes. Ain't no laughs. Ain't no where you at. Ain't no eyes. Ain't no eyes looking around like this. Oh, you know the eyes they send in the text. Ain't no eyes. Ain't no gifs. Ain't no funny gifs no more. Ain't nothing. You know. One person said hi. 28-3. I said, well, that's fine. 28-3 happened. It is what it is. Y'all got as many championships as we got. It is what it is. Hello, 2-6 Panthers. The Taints 3-5. The Bucks going through everything. The Tom Brady's, and here are the Falcons, 4-4. Really, I'm gonna say it because it's our podcast. I'm gonna say what I want to say. We really should be about 6-2. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I digress. I'm going to put my glasses on and sip my beer.
All right. Now, first of all, we told y'all on day one, we may not be the best team in the NFL. We may not even have one of the best rosters. But one thing for sure and two things certain, we are not the worst team in the NFL. I actually have it pulled up right here, the preseason rankings, just so I could refamiliarize myself to make sure that we were in 32nd place.
Send me the link. Let's post that.
Told you.
Send me that link. What's that link? I'm gonna look it up.
I'll drop that in there right now, so everybody can see it. But yeah, I told y'all that was not what it was. Y'all didn't want to believe us. Y'all tried to play us like chumps, like suckers. There is no way. Told us his team is terrible. We're gonna be one of the worst teams in the NFL. It's a lot of those people with teams who are substantially worse than ours. I would take a shot at those people, but you don't deserve the time on my podcast.
Oh, I got time. Don't worry. When I pull this up, I got time.
I'm not giving you the time nor the respect. I just dropped it under the highlights. And what I'm trying to tell you is we are number one in the NFC South. Not one soul believed in us except for me and Reggie. Y'all have continuously doubted and disrespected our team, even though if you paid attention last year, Arthur Smith coached his ass off with an under-equipped team. Where this is year 2 of Arthur Smith coaching his absolute ass off with an under-equipped team with 5 hurt defensive backs.
5. AJ Terrell didn't play, did he?
Yes. Can't play but 2 or 3 of them at a time. Maybe, yeah. For the most part, no, excuse me. You can play 4 or 5 depending on what you want to play. But want to be very clear, y'all have disrespected our team. Now we in first place in the NFC South, so we here to disrespect you. So respectfully, your team can kiss my ass. I want you to know that.
The whole ass. Both cheeks.
Like Reggie alluded to.
Upper thigh.
We got
lower
cheated.
back.
We got cheated. Like he said, if you really look at it, we should have won more games, either us playing or the referees hating. Either way.
I got time today.
But I want y'all to understand that you ever fixing your mouth as long as you live on God's green earth to tell me about my team, number one. Number two, we told y'all, and this is the reason that everybody should hit the like, subscribe, and follow button, because clearly we know what the hell we talking about. Falcons are 4-4. Thoughts and prayers to Tom Brady about his entire life. The Saints, their starting quarterback is Andy Dalton. That's a tragedy in itself. And the Panthers are the Panthers.
Let's see who they had ranked ahead of the Falcons at the beginning of the season. The Houston Texans. No. The New York Jets, they surprised us. But that's disrespectful, given their track record. The Carolina Panthers. The New York Giants, fine. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they haven't been good since Mark Brunell. And y'all say, no, they made it to the AFC Championship. Yes, they did on the defense. Because they had, what's his name, that just retired after making $42 million.
Blake
motherfucking Bortles. The Detroit Lions, kneecaps and all. Y'all had them picked ahead of us. The Chicago Bears.
That is egregious. In some places, in some countries, you do something like that, they will slap you for that. That is a slappable offense in some parts of the world, as far as I'm concerned.
The Chicago Bears. Everybody. The Washington Commanders.
Jesus.
New Orleans Taints.
No. All right. So what I'm going to ask you to do, since you're running the media, can you scroll up to the top? Can we see who the author of this is? We believe in accountability around here. I want to know who put this list together.
NFL Nation.
They
ain't gonna tell you.
Hiding behind a group.
Got Buffalo's number one. That's cool.
We're responsible. Oh boy, look at that. Look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, number 2. They are number 2 in the NFC South.
Look now, the Rams are a good team, but they could have got beat by us if it wasn't, the Chiefs. Yeah, the Bengals. I ain't even really ready to say the Bengals are better than us because we lost 5 defensive backs playing against them. 5. Jamar Chase is arguably a top 2 receiver in the league. Green Bay Packers.
we are better than the Packers for sure.
The 49ers about to hit their stride.
We beat
the
them.
Chargers. We beat them. We the reason they went and made a trade was because of the Falcons. Exactly. I forgot about that. Oh, I'm yelling now. We beat the 49ers with somebody that can't throw the ball. The Chargers can't stay healthy. The Ravens are the Ravens. The Cowboys are the Cowboys. The Titans. Come on, man. The Denver Broncos. Better than them. The Las Vegas Raiders. We better than them. Unfortunately, hey, Matt, it is what it is. We love you. You are the best quarterback in Falcons history. But you some hot garbage with the Colts. Frank Wright.
Well, he's on the
bench. You on the hot
now,
seat
so.
too. Don't matter. He's still hot garbage. You hot garbage on the bench. The Eagles are the Eagles. The Patriots. I don't believe in Matt Patricia, but it is what it is. The Cleveland Browns with no quarterback. The Arizona Cardinals. Come on, man. Y'all disrespectful, Shada. Y'all was disrespectful, and y'all had us way down here. Come on, man. Pay what you owe. And then, you know what? Nobody believes us because nobody talks about them.
Go ahead.
Nobody even talks about us. Nobody. What's more egregious?
Even more egregious is the last power ranking still only has us at 18. Still has teams ahead of us named the New Orleans Saints. Hell no.
The 3-5 New Orleans
Green Bay Packers. Hell no.
It's disrespectful.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who we lead. Hell no. New England Patriots. Hell no.
So
the Las Vegas Raiders. Hell no. 49ers, who we beat. Hell no.
Hell no. So now that we got that off our chest.
Offensive.
Now that we got off our chest, we want to send shout out to Todd McClure joining the Ring of Honor. Longtime Falcons center, was there, one of the originals, was there from the ups and downs, was there, started his career with Mike Vick, went up, then went back down when Mike Vick left, and we had to play Matt Schaub for that year. Then got Matt Ryan. Then we got Matt Ryan, right? And his career went up, and he stayed there, and he was consistent. Shout out to the Mud Duck himself, Todd McClure. He's Atlanta through and through. This is his induction. We're not going to go through that. What I do want to pull up, though, is now that we're here, tell me about the game. Because from what I've heard from multiple people, this was... Let me take off my thug thizzle. Now that I addressed y'all.
I ain't taking nothing off. Our future's so bright, I need to keep the glasses on.
I heard this was the game of the year so far in the NFL. Folks are saying
cheer on first down.
Folks are saying that this was the game of the year so far in the NFL in terms of everything playing, in terms of just everything that happened.
I can't say it's the game of the year because you look at the two rosters. There's not much on either one of these rosters. It's just mind-blowing. Okay, that's a lot. I think the Falcons have some things that are mind-blowing. But they're just not developed.
Algier looks good right here, man.
Yes. But so did Caleb Huntley. But for me, we were in control the majority of the game. I like us playing in control. We were the favorites. We played like we were going to win today. We got sloppy towards the end of the game. I think our defense, we already know it's kind of thin. It's going to be a very difficult second half of the season for our defense because you have so many guys who are just new that when you're playing against guys who are good NFL players, that secondary is going to have to, they're going to have to fight. But end of the day, you know what I always say, man, get us home. And it was an ugly way to get home, but we are home, safe in bed.
I just want to highlight that right here. Kyle Pitts got another touchdown. It has been, they are focused on getting him the ball, and the dance he did, the Glorilla dance he did with Drake London, they are like freaking frack. They are almost, they look like best friends on the field. So, and again, shout out to PJ Walker now. He played well. Lorenzo Carter, UGA. Another interception. He had he picked up the block punt last week and scored. And this week, he scored on an interception on a great play. He read it and got the interception on a great blitz call by Dean Pease. But Carolina had the right call. It was a screenplay during the blitz.
Yep.
But
that's just a great play.
That's a great athletic play, man.
So I like players like that. Just find a way to get it's I call it the honey badger effect. Just find a way to get to the ball. I don't know if it's a fumble recovery, it's an interception. I just find a way to get the ball and influence the game. You can find a defensive player that can do that regularly. You struck gold.
Mm-hmm. Again,
I do think that we need to blitz as much as we can. At this point, just blitz. They beat us. The secondary is already probably going to be beat just because of our personnel. At least try to add some pressure to make it more difficult on the quarterback and help out those guys on the back end.
So, from what I saw, let's talk about our offensive likes and dislikes. From what I've seen, I'll say mine because I didn't watch the game as much. I've seen the highlights. Well, I'll let you go first. You tell me, since you watched the game, tell me the likes and dislikes. Your offensive likes.
Mariota is the crossing route killer. Whatever the cross route is, if you can get him a window to throw it into, he's not really that too terrible at throwing the ball through the window.
That's what Arthur Smith said. He said if he can set his feet, he can throw he's accurate. He just don't set his feet.
But I call him the crossing route killer because that vertical deep ball is not his friend. It's not. And for me,
the setup was beautiful. The setup was beautiful on that.
Yeah, I mean, you got to. I like what you do, but I also have to know. All right, that first pick he threw was on a vertical. The first one that he threw at the end of in overtime was a vertical. We got to watch that. That I think that limits us a little bit, but I like a little bit.
That means that they're gonna sit on our routes.
Yeah, if it was me, I'm playing all zone. I'm playing zone blitz. I want to. You know what? I'm not even playing zone blitz. I'm going 3-4 pass rush. I don't really want. I think Mariota's his best weapon is still his feet. So I want him to stay in the pocket, and I just want everybody to sit there and not have any open zones. But I can't. I like that he doesn't minus on the vertical balls. He's very responsible with the ball. Vertical's just not his friend.
So I have a few of them, but I'm trying to pick between. I like that we're getting Kyle Pitts more involved. I like the running game and offensive line, of course. What I like the most, and this is what I've read on all of the message boards, all of the timeline, listen to all of the fans. Arthur Smith called a hell of a game today. Hell of a game. Almost everything he called was right on time. He made adjustments and called a hell of a game. Everything, all the adjustments he made was when we needed it. We needed it. Offensively, he knew. They said his offensive game plan was to score and also keep them from running up the score on us because we didn't have a lot of defensive backs. And they said he called a masterful job. So I'm going to give my offensive like right now to Arthur Smith for the game plan in which he put together against a top 10 defense. Because people forget that Carolina has a top 10 defense in the league. They just forsake by their offense. What was your dislike? You already said your dislike. That the vertical pass by
vertical ball. We can't do anything over the top, and that's the one thing that would make his job easier. And that's kind of the reason I'm pushing. I think Ritter just has more of a cannon than Mariota is. It's going to open up everything else. And the offense, for what we have we got a high-powered offense for not having a strong arm quarterback and kind of a piecemealed running back room. Mm-hmm. We got Drake, we got Kyle Pitts. But everything outside of that isn't really anything to write home about. It's just players playing good football. And my biggest thing is just the verticals. That scares me. I don't like it. I guess we can continue to dink and dack forever, but I would like to have some type of over-the-top option, and we don't have that right now. We can't throw that.
My dislike, of course, is for everything that he did offensively and calling a great game plan, it seemed like Marcus Mariota was trying to give the game away with those passes. And I feel like Arthur Smith wants Mariota to push the ball down the field, and he's giving him opportunities to, because if we can push the ball down the field, I don't care what y'all say. Y'all can call me a homer. Y'all can call me whatever y'all want me to. It is what it is. Y'all have called me a homer before, and every time y'all call me a homer, I'm right. If we can push the ball vertically down the field, after what I've seen with Bird, the receiver who looks like he is not Tyreek Hill fast, but fast, super fast, probably fastest on the team.
Yes. Yep.
We have the ability to attack you from size and speed on offense in the passing game. But we have to be able to push the ball down the field. And Marcus Mariota has not given anybody any confidence in going down the field. And when we get to play these teams that can score, because let's be honest, Carolina shouldn't be able to score this much. We are going to have to be able to not only do ball control, but you're going to have to be able to score too, in fast. Because if we get behind, we can't come back. We've seen it. Because we're such a running team. We get behind 14 points. The Bengals went up 21-0. There's nothing else you can do. So I just don't like the turnovers and the fact that we don't go down the field. Defensively, how did the defense look?
Like I told you, spinning. You can see that they're playing as good as they can, but you don't have the best personnel on the field. And we're missing 5 defensive backs. Once you're down 5 defensive backs, you really reaching through the bottom of the barrel. No offense to those guys, but they're just not. They're not prepared to guard wide receiver 1s or wide receiver 2s. That's what it really comes down to. These guys who we have guarding people, they're never supposed to be guarding people this good.
Yeah. So what did you like about the defense?
We got it home. We did enough to get what we needed when we needed it. It wasn't. Sometimes you just got to be happy that you made it home. How you got there really don't matter.
Yeah. I will say I like that defense scored. You can't go past that. They scored, and for the first half, they were playing really, really well from what people are saying. Oh, no. A.J. Dillon just tore his knee. That's unfortunate. And boy was talking trash, Mike Milano. They're going to try to hurt you too. I'm watching Bills versus Packers right now. But what I liked about the defense is that we needed every point. And it was a bend but don't break defense. And yes, we allowed points, but we made plays when we needed to make plays too. So
Yeah, other than that one play at the very end of the game. That hurt me bad. That really cut me to the core.
When they scored at the end of the game, 60, 70 yards.
Yeah, you just can't let that happen. And no offense, like I told you, PJ Washington, that guy's an XFL quarterback. You can't let that man bomb you out at the end of the game. You know there's one thing that you're doing on 4th and forever. And that answer is do not let that man get beyond you. Just can't happen under any circumstances.
It's your phone, eh?
Of course, it's podcast time, so people are FaceTiming me.
FaceTime? My defensive dislike. Hey, you didn't have to say FaceTime. You could have just said people are hitting my phone. Defensive dislikes. We only had 1 sack. Now I know PJ Walker, is it Walker or Washington? Walker. I know Walker is a mobile quarterback, but you gotta be able to get more pressure on the quarterback. 1 sack. That has always been the problem with the Falcons for a long time, probably last decade. It's hard for us to get pressure on the quarterback. It is difficult for us to get pressure on the quarterback. Since Mike Smith era, we haven't had a consistent pass rusher since John Abraham.
Yeah, that's the reason they say
pass rush.
We've been connected to Brad. Is it Bradley Chubb that plays with the
Broncos?
The Broncos. Mm-hmm. That's who we've been most closely linked with, trying to find a way to get, which I would like right now. If we could get a pass rush and have a guy who could realistically try to get us a sack every game or so, that would be life-changing for us.
You get one player that can get you consistent pass rush, and it don't have to be a sack. It could just be making them move the pocket,
pressure,
making them change their philosophy, right? Because right now they just double team Grady Jarrett, and they say everybody else gonna have to beat us 1-on-1. If you can get Bradley Chubb and package him with AK-47, and Lorenzo Carter, I think, and you could probably use AK-47 as like the robber type guy. He could probably be your spy, and then it frees up your other linebackers. If you could do that, now you're not talking about, making the playoffs. You really talking about winning the division on a consistent basis.
If we could get one more cornerback, a pass rush, and we're gonna have to eventually just address the quarterback situation. This team doesn't suck.
Not at all.
And,
not at all.
And that's the biggest thing that I think people just short-sighted on. And let's be real, Arthur Smith is a damn good coach.
Bruh, I'm telling you, that has been on all the messages, bro. They said this was a masterful job. He called a masterful play call. He called this really, really well. So
you can
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you can constantly get an ill-equipped team to perform better than they are, you coaching your ass off. This roster is still a probably bottom 5 roster. I want to be very clear about that. But we play tough. We run the ball hard. And we don't quit. We're not the team. It's not like we were quitters before, but we were playing football just to play. Like, all right, maybe we'll win, maybe we'll lose. Now I feel like we go out there and we're going to go out there and give it our best effort. Whatever our best effort is, it is what it is with what you got. But they don't quit. They play tough until the end of the game. And that's what you ask for. That's what you want.
I think Arthur Smith has them believing. They believe in themselves. I think the way that he coaches, the way that he calls plays, if you fumble, if you throw an interception, he go right back and run the ball and set you up, and he'll put you in positions to win. What I wanted to kind of transition to, we always talk about the Ritter watch. This game, to me, was the perfect place to put in Ritter before the game started. right? I thought this was the game to play him because it's at home. It's against we assumed was an inferior team, although they had a really good defense. You would have, and we have a good running game. It should be easier to incorporate him. Well, luckily for we played Mariota. He's more veteran, and Arthur Smith called a game. But I don't know if you can put Ritter in for the rest of the season unless you put him in when we play Chicago. I don't know if you could put him in against anybody else. We play the Chargers next. I wouldn't put him in against Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. I wouldn't do that at all. That wouldn't be fair. Then after that, we play the Bears. That maybe you put him in the Commandos.
Hey, man, he's a football player, man. He's a football player. At the end of the day, let that boy get out there at this point. You done had half a season. We drafted you in the third round. Mm-hmm. We're not. I mean,
most third-round quarterbacks don't start.
Okay, so the reason I'm saying that is either you believe, because, all right, so I'm going to talk through this logically. Either I assume that they don't believe he's good enough, which means we have to go get another quarterback, or you're not saving this guy for next year.
Why not? It looks like that's what they're doing. Why would you not save him till next year?
So if you're saving him for next year, do you believe he's good?
They said they save a lot of quarterbacks for next year. The only quarterbacks that they don't save for next year are normally your first round picks because they need a quarterback right now. But most quarterbacks, they save a lot of quarterbacks in the second and third, especially in the third round, they save for the next year. Yeah. I don't agree that you throw him out there. I don't agree with that.
So do you think we're not going to draft another quarterback? We're just going to go into the season with him next year?
I think that you fill the other holes of the roster before you draft another quarterback. I think that's what they're going to do. I think that I think they're going to draft a cornerback. I think they're going to draft another receiver. I think they probably go defensive line.
Why are you drafting more receivers if you don't have a guy?
I'm just telling you, I think all of those people, I think you put all those pieces in place, and then next year is when you give him he probably will, unless Marcus Mariota just throws for 2,000 yards in the next 10 games. 9 games. Then you probably play him then. He's got a year in the system. He knows all the calls, everything.
I don't like that.
But we also aren't at the practices. We don't know what he knows and doesn't know. He may not be picking up the offense. There's a lot of ifs that we don't know. But we do see that we do need to be able to threaten people down the field.
You can't go into next season not having a vertical threat at quarterback. If I'm Kyle Pitts and Drake London, I'm already ready to low key punch him in his face. But definitely after this, we're gonna have to find a way to be able to throw the ball down the field.
So our next game, I mentioned it earlier, we play at home again against the Chargers. The Chargers have been one of the more disappointing teams this year. They just can't get healthy. With that being said, I think this game bodes well for the Falcons if our defensive backfield can get healthy. Here's why. The Chargers are really good at pass rushing on defense. Derwin James is going to be on Kyle Pitts, and it's going to be a really, really good matchup. But they don't stop the ball. They don't stop the run very well. The way that the Browns came back and beat them was they ran the ball down their throat. The Chargers have a problem stopping the run. The Falcons, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't think I am, I think we're the number 1 rushing offense in the league. So, and when you have somebody like Mariota who can run, he can outrun both of them. When I say both of them, I'm talking about the ends. The Bears are the number 1 rushing league? Oh, because, they can't throw either. But they just don't have any receivers. They got somebody that can throw the ball down the field. They got nobody to throw it to. But it bodes well for us in our matchup because we can run right at them. And if we can run right at them and establish the running game, the Chargers will be in trouble.
I'm going to tell you, I think that once again, we've been fortunate enough, thank the Lord, that we've caught teams in the exact wrong times. And I think this kind of looks like it again. You got J.C. Jackson, who's out, injured reserve.
Oh, yeah. He tore his patella tendon.
Mike Williams, he will be out, wide receiver. Then you have Keenan Allen, also questionable. And you have another wide receiver, Josh Palmer, also questionable, and Donald Parham, also questionable. Two wide receivers.
Mike Williams. I know Mike Williams was hurt too.
Yep. And then we also have Joey Bosa, who will be out, and his expected return is week 13. So we do have a good chance to kind of play another team who doesn't have all of their, everybody ready.
That kind of scares me though.
That helps our defensive backs a lot.
Yeah, y'all gonna have to do something. I think we're scheduled to get AJ Terrell back. Also, what game is this? Isn't Cordero supposed to come back this week?
Right around there. I'm still waiting. I want to.
Yeah, it's either because it was the first week of November. That's when they said he was coming back because he was out. He got hurt against the Browns because he didn't play against the Bucks. He didn't play against the 49ers. Didn't play against the Bengals. Didn't play against the. It's a four game. When you go on IR, you're out 4 games. I believe we get Cordero back. Now we get Cordero Patterson back, and you could put him in the slot. I wonder. Now that we here,
yeah,
I wonder
right.
when he comes back.
Expected return, week 9.
I wonder where you play him. And I know you put him at running back. I know. But you have 2 other running backs that can spell him, and they are playing well. Algier, Allgaier, however y'all, he's playing well. Caleb Huntley,
for sure.
Caleb Huntley runs like Roger Craig. Them knees be up here. He be.
Yep.
So when you have those 2, and then you can motion out Cordero and put him in the slot. Or you could put Cordero at the X and put Drake in the slot, or put Kyle Pitts in the slot. Now, and then you got Bird. Like you could do so much with that. You at that point, Arthur Smith at that point is like a mad scientist, and I got confidence in him. So that's what I'm looking for when it comes to these 2. This game is how they use Cordero Patterson.
That's the best thing for Mariota is having multiple weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't cover everybody all the time. And while he can't throw the ball down the field, if you get open and there is a window, he'll hit it. So having another guy who is a true weapon, a true really good offensive weapon, adding him to that equation of a pretty powerful offense right now, that probably extends Mariota's time at starter, which I don't love, but I want to win. But I think we could beat the Chargers next week. Confidently.
We should. That's my prediction. I think we beat them. I think we beat the Chargers. We go 5-4. I want to go and see everybody else who all they play. But if that happens, oh man, there will be 3 games over 500 because 500 to me is 2 wins. So we'll be 3 games over 500 for me.
And you got to think next. Look, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play the Rams on the 6th of November. Then they play the Seahawks. And then they play the Browns. And Watson, I think, will be back for the Browns.
And the Saints play the Ravens, the Steelers, home versus the Ravens, at the Steelers, versus the Rams, at the 49ers, at the Buccaneers. That sound like the best is 1-4 out of those 5 games. So, and then Carolina is Carolina. They play a similar schedule. And I think we got the 49ers before they got Christian McCaffrey, thank God.
Yep.
And we got the Panthers after they get rid of Christian
McCaffrey. Play who they roll out. I think that you are hell, boy. I think that, especially if you look at who we play over the next few games, Chargers, then we play the Panthers again and the Bears, and then the Washington Commanders and the Steelers and the Saints.
Mm-hmm. We have the easiest schedule to end the season.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You really look at it.
Chargers, Panthers, Bears, Commanders, Steelers, Saints, Ravens.
No. Blinders on. Next game, Chargers. Do not get ahead of yourself. Do not count your chickens before they hatch. We're happy that the Atlanta Falcons are in first place. We told y'all so. We are not the worst team in the NFL. I can show you 3 teams that are worse. And keep hating.
Yep. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the Falcons segment. We told y'all. First place. We are now going to get to the Hawks segment of the episode. We'll be right back. Y'all
also in first place.
Are we? Oh, in the division.
Hell
yeah. Also in first place in the division. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
They hard like Rottweiler. Can The whole industry been in shambles. Everybody fugazi, I'm just changing the channel. Kendrick Lamar, the people's champion, I'm animal for analysts. Career damaging versus meditating when candles lit. I like my raps extra prolific. Some freestyling, no lunch tables and park benches. And I won't mention my 10,000 hours in training while juggling game banking. My balancing was tremendous. And now we look at the competition as quick submissions. They tapping out before we even get a chance to miss them. What this about, is it money or skill? Maybe it's both, and I got large amounts of it, it's real. You see, my oath is very unbreakable. My style is never mistakable. I can see y'all incapable to be the god MCs, you know me well. Ridiculous, venomous, hate in my heart, the sinister. Run for cover, my lineage prove itself. I'm rolling deep in their paper like 2 Adels. Before scholars, I float tighter than virgin lips. We here to shake the game up, and you're flying through turbulence. Everything is high stake nowadays. That's how I play nowadays. It's like an 8-ball to the face nowadays. I'm laced nowadays. My gun is off the waist nowadays. It's 7 figures and retainer for the case nowadays. I'm talking higher power every other hour since Eddie Bowers and stash boxes and lead showers. Breaking the padlock and the dead cow dying 1,000 deaths. Entire lion surrounding self with bears. Watch a nigga, you share profit. This is what
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hawks edition of episode 76 of the Splash Cast, the ATL Edition. We are now going to get into the Hawks. Like I said, Hawks edition. Y'all know what I meant. We are now going to get into the Hawks segment of the ATL edition of episode 76 of the Splash Cast. Got a few things we're going to talk about. It is basketball season is here. Basketball season is here. The Hawks have started off very well. 4-2. We are 3-2 in the conference, 1-1 in the division, 2-1 at home, 2-1 on the road. Where you want to start?
Let's start with, first of all, the standings. We are number 1 there too. No Nelly.
So as you can see right now, the Hawks are 4-2 in our division. This is a division we should win. Ooh, y'all see that right there? Y'all don't see it.
No, it's not. Nope. I'm not saying that either. What's supposed to happen is the Miami Heat are supposed to be winning. Let's not put anything on here that's not true. We are not the favorites. It's the Miami Heat. But
no, we're not the favorites, but they 2-5. They hurting. But anyway, this the Hawks segment. Nobody.
Hey, that ain't my problem. But I want to be very clear that nobody believed that the Hawks were going to be better than the Heat.
All y'all told us we were fools. Y'all have y'all started to see the trend yet? Have y'all started to see the trend of doubt that y'all do and say, and then all of a sudden we'd say, hey, but are y'all actually looking at the team? Are y'all looking at the stats? Are y'all looking at the schedule? Are y'all looking at this? No, we know that y'all da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, cool. Bet.
Box score Warriors.
So the Hawks, the last let's get to the schedule. Oh, come on, we don't care about them. This is week 3.
These are the games for this week. Yep. No, that's it right there. Those are the games for this week.
I was gonna go to the past week.
Okay.
Real quick. So this past week we played against Detroit. We beat Detroit twice, and then we lost to the Bucks on Saturday in Milwaukee. We are in the middle of a road swing right now. Let's talk about these 2 games in Detroit. Cade Cunningham is the truth.
He's it. And I don't know how to quantify exactly what he is because he's not very fast. He's not I don't consider him a sharp shooter. He's just a very good, well-rounded basketball player.
You know what it is? I know so I actually watched these games. I'm trying to pull up the stats real quick. I actually watched both games. Cade, you know what he does is what is a lost art. He goes free throw line down. If you're shorter than him, free throw line down.
I'm gonna beat you. Small
runner, and he does the pull up at the elbow every time. He does, and if he hits 1 or 2, he gonna hit 9 in a row.
Yep, you're a cook goose.
He had 26 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. Bogdanovich had 33, 2, and 3. Now the Hawks, Trae Young went wild crazy. He's been on a tear these last 2 games. But the first game against Detroit, this game right here, John Collins may have had the play of the game. This was a back and forth game. It was a duel. It was a duel between Trae Young and Cade Cunningham. And John Collins had the play of the game. I don't know if they're going to show it, but he had the chase down block of the game to save the game in the waning seconds against Cade Cunningham, a la LeBron. It was nice. John Collins had 19 points, 11 rebounds in the first game. Trae Young had 35 points on 21 shots. He's always going to get his points. We always talk about that. He had 35 points on 21 shots. And Murray who is probably taking the role as the best all-around player on our team now. Almost another triple-double. And then, of course, DeAndre Hunter at 17 and 3. What I liked about these games in Detroit is that we were really balanced. Really, really balanced against them. What'd you think of it?
What?
In both games.
We playing matchup basketball. Mm-hmm. Whoever has the advantage, take it. I would like a little bit more out of DeAndre Hunter, but we did play balanced basketball. You can't really ask a lot more of a team. And we still waiting on Bogey to show up. Bogey is the missing piece. If we can play this well without Bogey, once you add him into the equation, you're going to really be cooking with something. And AJ Griffin, he is good. And he makes it very clear, hey, Nate, I can't control whether or not you play me, but in the moments that I play, I will make it very difficult for you not to play me.
Let me tell you, and I'm glad you said that. What did they say when they invited? He said, I'm going to make him play me. I'm going to make him play me. Now, Nate, we know you old school. I won't call you old. You old school.
Yeah, let's do that.
You old school, Nate. And blah, yada, 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 yada. Uh-oh. We froze a little bit. Hold up, y'all. Anyway, we're going to keep going while the video.
Yeah, let's keep rocking.
But, Nate, what we need you to do and what we need you to understand is, there it is. What we need you to do and what we need you to understand, Nate, is AJ Griffin went in the game and went 2 for 2 and had 5 points in 2 minutes and did not allow a score. You can't take him out at the end of the game. You can't take him out at that point. You took him out and you put in Justin Holiday. I know you love veterans. You want to give veterans their shot. Justin, the Holiday brothers, you coached them in, and you know about their defensive prowess. But A.J. Griffin was hitting step-back threes. A.J. Griffin was shooting over everybody. And when they put him in at the end of the game, it looked almost unfair. He was going right around everybody. And he plays really good defense. Not really good. Really good defense for a rookie. He played better defense than Justin Holiday.
Good enough.
There's no reason to me, in my humble opinion, non-basketball coaching opinion, but I got eyes. There's no way that AJ Griffin should be losing out minutes to Justin Holiday. It shouldn't happen. Can't happen.
He allows the floor to be spaced better. Mm-hmm. And we need shooting. We traded away Bogey. We traded away Gallup. Well, we traded away Gallup. And we didn't backfill the shooting.
Nope.
And, I mean, we're a young team. Play the young guys. I know that's absurd and ridiculous to you, but you might as well give them a try. Specifically, it would be a lot easier if you had Bogey. But no Bogey really puts you, kind of handicaps us on shooting.
Especially on that second unit. Does. You would think it does, but then if you play AJ Griffin, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I like Martin too. Martin came right on in and was scoring.
Yeah. I don't think.
I don't know if he has enough minutes. Yeah, I was about to say I don't know if there's enough minutes, but AJ Griffin looked really, really good. And then we went to the Bucks and we played in Milwaukee, and we knew that was going to be a difficult game because it's Giannis. It's Giannis.
And it was a back-to-back.
And we were traveling. I think Giannis ended up having, 34 points, 17 rebounds. And then Drew Holiday had 34 and 12. And he had to show that, hey, I am the best Holiday brother, which we already knew. And then Brook Lopez had 21 and 6. But Brook Lopez did all his damage outside of the paint. So in that game, we got beat by 3 players: Justin Holiday, Brook Lopez, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Jason Nwora had 11 points, but that was all in the first half. Everybody else had under 10 points. What was concerning about this game, for me, John Collins, 4 shots, 4 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, no blocks, no steals, 3 personal fouls. Now, we know you playing Giannis, but the way to beat Giannis is you got to tire him out on defense. Otherwise, he's just going to run back up the court and dunk on you every time. Trey, 42 points on 32 shots. Now, he did get hot, but we always say this on the podcast. We're not going to win with Trey averaging 40 points, 35 points, 30 points a game. We're not going to win. We're not going to win that way. Our advantage is our numbers and our ability to be even across the board and be able to be a killer at every position on the court at some point in time. So that was alarming for me, was the loss to the Bucks.
That's my code 10. 2 games in a row. Played 25 minutes against the Pistons. He played 31 minutes against the Bucks. Both games, same thing. Made 2 shots, only shot 4 shots. For the first 3 or 4 games of the season, John Collins is our best offensive weapon.
Unstoppable.
Hands down. You can't just handicap yourself in that way. You have to find a way to get him involved. And I know that Trey wants to shoot it. I know that DeJounte wants to shoot it. But they have to be focused on getting Collins and really Hunter heavily involved if they want to win. It's always, you can score a bunch of points. That's not winning basketball. Having more balance, everybody around 15 shots out of those top 4 guys is going to be better for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, man. John Collins still, finding a way. He got 10 rebounds in that Pistons game. Now the Bucks game is just bad all over. But you have to. It's unacceptable for John Collins to have less. 12 should be his minimum. Drop dead minimum. You don't shoot 12 shots a game, John. I'll make you run every day after the game, not even after practice.
The thing about John Collins is, and we talked about it what game did we watch? Was it the Pistons game that we kind of watched? Yeah. The John Collins game is, even if you want Trey to go off, if you want DeJounte, as we call him, you want DeJounte and them to go off. I think DeJounte and them averaged like 60. They had 62 points and 17 rebounds and something crazy against here it is. They scored or assisted. They had 62 points and 17 rebounds combined against the Pistons. They were going crazy. I understand that these 2 guys are the catalysts. And for everybody that said this wasn't going to work, we told y'all it was going to work. We told you putting him at the 2 and taking Trey off the ball or putting Trey at the 2 whatever was going to work. I think we're still trying to figure out our bench, but we told y'all it was going to work. But the original point I was saying, John Collins is supposed to be the person that settles us down. When Trey gets a little crazy and starts shooting a lot, or DeJounte is off, because DeJounte got a little bit of gunner in him too. DeJounte gets off a little bit. We need to use John Collins and DeAndre Hunter. And when I say DeAndre Hunter that goes to the rim and plays in the post. We need to use those two players to settle us down. And that's what we did against the Pistons the first game. That's what we did in the other games we played.
We have better games when Trey and DeJounte. Well, I'm not going to say better games. We play our best when Trey and DeJounte both get 10 assists. You cannot stop that team. They're going to still find their way to 15, 20 points. Easy. Trey going to find probably like 22. DeJounte going to find somewhere between 15 to 18. But them getting the assists makes the rest of the team go in ways that the rest of the NBA does not want to see. And I think it's very realistic for both of them to average 8 or 9 assists a game. And if you can do that, well, we have to understand that's the most dangerous Atlanta Hawks team you can find. Trey and DeJounte getting
Trey
Hunter and Collins and Okongwu shots.
Now, and Trey understands that because he's leading the league in assists. I mean, he's leading the league in assists. DeJounte's leading the league in steals. Yeah. He might be second now after the last game, but before the Bucks game, he was averaging 10.9 assists.
9.7, yeah.
Because he had 2 assists in the game because he was gunning. But the games before that, he was averaging 10.3 assists, and he was leading the league. DeJounte was leading the league in steals. We were 5th in opponent field goal percentage. Defensively, we were playing well. John Collins was like 5th in the league in field goal percentage again. So,
yep.
And now, finally, Clint Capella looks like himself. Because Clint Capella was, they picking on the Packers.
Him and Trey kind of had, I would say, a relatively slow start to the season. But I feel like week 2, they kind of picked up. And by week 3, I think that they should be ready now.
Yep. I also like Onyeka Okongwu.
I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with playing very well going forward. He's starting to go after his offensive buckets. And you could tell when we're playing well, he's averaging almost 10 points a game. When he's not and is Trey gunning, everybody's average goes down. Trey had 4 in the game against Milwaukee, and he does this a lot. He had 42 points. DeJounte had 21 points. Hunter had 14 points. And then the rest was Capella. And after that, nobody else had double digits. I think Justin Holiday hit a 3 late to get to 10 points. That's not where John Collins needs to be the 3rd highest scorer on the team. Minimum.
I think second.
I don't know if he'll be consistent second, because if he's consistently because you got DeJounte and then you got Hunter. I don't know if he'll be consistently second. But if he is, it's because he's around the ball on the rim. And John Collins has been playing great defense. I don't know if y'all been watching. John Collins has been averaging almost 2 blocks a game. So he's playing pretty well.
Getting a steal or 2 a game.
Yep. And he hustles. Our next 3 games, though, at the Raptors, at the Knicks. I can't believe they're not going to have that on ESPN. At the Raptors tomorrow on Halloween. At the Knicks on November 2nd. Home against the Pelicans after a 3-day rest. What are your keys to victory against the Raptors? Because we got to deal with that man, Pascal Siakam.
We have to.
Pascal been playing
not really
crazy.
It's everybody that's the same size over there. It's the team. But
yeah, that
team
starts with Pascal though.
Yeah, Siakam is the head. But for me, it's got to be, we have to get John Collins involved. That spaces the floor out better. It makes everything substantially easier for everybody. It's just a better situation for all parties involved. That 30, 40 point, that's cool to watch. That's for everybody who's not a supporter of the Atlanta Hawks. For us, need you guys around 20. Let Collins get – and really, as long as he's shooting somewhere, I think he should shoot 15, 16, 17 shots a game. But at minimum, 12 to 14. That's got to be there. We can't have Trey and DeJounte shooting 25 shots a night. That ain't going to get us there. I mean, the harsh reality, John just shoots a higher shooting percentage than both of those guys.
So, to me, I think we have to figure out a way to stop Pascal. We have the bodies now. We have John, who's big enough. Hunter is big enough and quick enough. But they run their entire offense through him. I think against Philly, when they beat Philly, he had 27 points, 13 rebounds, 27 points, 13 assists, 5 rebounds, and a block and a steal. Like, he is the catalyst for that team. Right now, Fred VanVleet is playing real suspect. I look for him to try to bounce back, especially because he's probably going to be guarded by Trey. The thing about
who's the other guard?
Gary Trent Jr.
No, the other guard is not. What I won't call him Michael Porter Jr. What's my guy I like? He was in Portland first.
I just said it 3 times. Gary Trent Jr.
Oh, I missed that.
Gary Trent
but
Jr.
yeah,
he just scored
Gary
40
Trent
points.
Jr. is a very good basketball player too. But I'm probably putting Trey on Gary Trent Jr.
I wouldn't. I would put Trey on Fred VanVleet because Fred VanVleet don't have no post game. Fred VanVleet doesn't really go to the rim. He is a shooter and if he tries to drive, it's normally to kick. Whereas Gary Trent Jr. is a scorer from all 3 levels. I would rather put DeJounte on him. And then you just figure out you got to put John Collins on Pascal, or you got to put what's his name there. So that's how I look at it.
That boy VanVleet went 0 for 11 8. On the 28th against the Sixers. 1 point in 34 minutes. 5 assists. Jesus, son, you just watching.
So that's going to be a good game. I think we pull that game out. The game of the week, it will always be Hawks versus Knicks. That will always be the game of the week because
not to me.
Well, we talked a lot of trash about the Knicks being with this signing of Jalen Brunson, who seems to be doing pretty well early on in the season as a facilitator and commander of that team. Julius Randle seems to enjoy playing off the ball more. He doesn't have the ball in his hand anymore. He's not asked to be a creator. He's just
Who knew? Maybe I did, because I said that Julius is still a good damn basketball player, and everybody's like, no, throw him away. Yeah, throw him away right over here.
No, I just didn't think he wanted to be there. But they took the ball out of his hands. He doesn't have to try to make everybody else better. He just has to play his game. RJ Barrett still looks like he's searching for himself a little bit. But I think that could be good. They are playing Cam Reddish more, and they are phasing Evan Fournier out of the game, out of the rotation. Tibbs is trying to keep him there.
Who told you to do that from day one, you clowns? Never should have took that sorry-ass Frenchman. I told y'all so.
But he's the shooter. So you got a lot of storylines in this game. You got a lot. Cam Reddish is there. You got DeAndre Hunter was drafted after RJ Barrett, but our DeAndre Hunter seems who just signed the contract, just got extended. You have of course Trey with New York. You have Jalen Brunson now, who is there. We have DeJounte Murray. There are so many storylines in this game, and it's starting to become a rivalry. I'm looking forward to it, and it's in Madison Square Garden. So I mean, it's the mecca of basketball. I don't know why they're not showing it on television, but I ain't gonna ask no questions. Another interception. So I'm looking forward to that game. I think we match up very well with them. I think Mitchell Robinson and Clint Capella cancel each other out. I think John Collins could abuse Julius on the offensive end. I think Julius cancels him out on the defensive end. I think DeAndre Hunter is better than whoever they have at 3. Who's their 3? They probably put Cam Reddish in at 3. That'd be a good game. They're best friends.
No. RJ is their 3. Fournier is their 2. And Brunson is their 1.
But they're gonna take Fournier out of the game, and they're gonna put Cam in the game to me. For what I've seen with the Knicks, they're gonna play Cam a little bit more, and they're gonna put him at the 3, and they put RJ at the 2, and then they put Brunson at the 1. That's their best lineup. So now you've got DeJounte on RJ, you've got Trey on Brunson, and you've got Hunter on Cam. That's interesting. The person that has to win this is probably the John Collins versus Julius Randle matchup, to me.
Which is a hell of a matchup in itself. You really look at it in a nutshell, this is a pretty balanced game. But I feel like we're just I don't know why I feel like we're such a better team than them, but I feel like we are a better team than them.
Our bench is better than theirs so far.
Well, I mean, if you look at the bench,
they got Cam.
It really shouldn't. You got Obi Toppin.
Oh, I forgot about Obi. I forgot all about Obi.
Yep. Yeah. You got Obi Toppin on the bench. You got Cam Reddish on the bench. Isaiah Hartenstein. I don't know. I'm not loving that one. But he had a good game tonight, 12 and 10.
Is Grimes back?
And then Derrick Rose. I think Grimes is out. And then you still got Emmanuel Quickly back there, too. Like the bench doesn't
Emmanuel
suck.
Quickly. Yeah, you're right. The Knicks have
their bench might be better than
ours. Yeah, they actually have a pretty good. I forgot all about. I forgot about Obi Toppin and Emmanuel Quickly. I was thinking about Grimes and Cam, and now what they are missing is a 5. Who's their backup 5?
Hartenstein.
Okongwu, you got to win that. Got to win that matchup. John Collins and Clint Capella got to eat in order for us to beat the Knicks. Got to. And
but this is also coaching. I feel like Nate is a substantially better coach than Tibbs. Hands down.
Yeah. Now, if we do, whatever happens in this game, there's going to be a lot of trash talk. So, it is what it is. And then finally, the last game, we play at home next Saturday against the New Orleans Pelicans. And they should have Zion back. They already have Zion back. They'll have Zion back. They will have Brandon Ingram back as well.
It's going to be a good one.
Yep.
But we should be able to space the floor against them. That's the thing. Is Zion and Valanciunas, but Valanciunas is a dog right now. He's playing like a man.
Yeah, he is. Ain't nothing you could do about it either. But I think the thing about the Hawks, our roster matches up with just about every team. There's not a team unless Giannis. I don't count Giannis because Giannis is a mismatch for literally everybody. Like when I say literally everybody, like literally every single team. So if Giannis is a mismatch for every team, he's gonna be a mismatch for everybody. So
congratulations.
I don't. But every other team, the Warriors maybe we don't match up with.
You got to deal with us too.
You got to deal with us, and we can match up. We could put a defender on your best player, no matter what he is. Not name Giannis.
Yep.
Not name Giannis. We can't do nothing with Giannis. Giannis is Giannis. So, and it was a good game. We could have beat them. No.
Yeah, I really think that if we had John shoot his regular 12 shots, we beat them.
Yep. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the Hawks segment. We're not gonna talk about the Hornets' loss. The Hornets had an out of body experience. Like they do that every year. They did it last year when everybody get hurt. Somebody has an outer body experience and they play really well. And they went right back to being a pumpkin literally the next game. So it is what it is. We're going to take some time, give us about 30 seconds. We'll be right back. And then we're going to round out the Braves year. All of the awards have come out or the finalists have come out, and we'll talk about pending free agency. Ooh, that was a flag. We'll talk about pending free agency. Y'all.
By pending free agency, he means Dansby Swanson. Dan
the man. You better pay him. Dan the man. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's for every young nigga out there, man. You hear me? Put it in their motherfucking face, nigga. For real.
My little brother rockin' us, but we weren't having Nike. Grew up in the gutter, want no structure, it took sacrifice. High speed, ain't having lights. White folks gon' extradite me. Pussy bitch ain't never write me. Lockdown, I'm letter writing. 1,000 push-ups every night, I hurt them whole feelings. Waiting on parole, staring at a closed ceiling. Sleeping on my mama couch, but thinking about $1 million. Residue on my clothes, selling bowls out of building. Record label just called me, they wanna see me in New York. Crippin' like I'm from Cali, I'm pippin' bitches like Too Short. Posted up in the alley, put PCP on my new boys. Bitches, they used to dog me, I'm ballin' like it was 2 courts. Northside thuggin' like New Orleans in the 90s. Grew up on BG, had a BB gun in my diapers. Say up block 33 when I had to sleep with the lifers. If a nigga play me knife him, that shit turn me to a tiger. Heart barely beating from the betrayals and the stab wounds. Late night with great whites, been posted up since past noon. Gave my dog 50, ain't seen my nigga since last June. Locked me up at 11, brought a weapon to my classroom. Ever since a toddler age, I promise it been turbulence. I say they gon' stop my days, they promise they gon' murder me. I ain't with all that dissing, you can miss me with that verbal shit. Chopper sticks on a mission, spinach trenches with some urgency. Young nigga trapping, if you trapping, trap your ass out. Young nigga jacking, if you jacking, jack your ass out. Free bins in my Gucci, think I'm future with my mask out. Never gave a fuck about no music, I crash out. Throwing up my section in another nigga trenches. Rock out with that Glock out, I'm like Papa on the spinach. I'm really from the trenches, don't do it for no image. That's how where they be spinning, Glock 9 in my Javinci. Young nigga trapping, if you trapping, trap your ass out. Young nigga jacking, if you jacking, jack your ass out. Free bins in my Gucci, think I'm future with my mask out. Never gave a fuck about no music, I crash out. Hey, and you niggas know where to find me at, nigga. You hear me? Right across the creek, nigga. On my mama, nigga. Green stove bound, nigga. Yeah, 4 pistols, no pistols, nigga. Yeah, nigga, you nigga got a whole football team, nigga. I be 1 deep. You hear me? On my mama. Still gonna lay dead in the street behind that shit, nigga. On my mama, nigga. Yeah. God forgive, I don't. Pussy ass, nigga.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our final segment of episode 76 of the Splashcast, the ATL Edition. We are now going to talk about the Braves. We are going to put a bow on the Braves season. It is Braves season is no more.
World Series champion Braves. Until they crown a new one, we are World Series champions. Braves are World Series champions. Falcons are number 1 in NFC South. And the Hawks are number 1 in the Southeast Division. Feels good. Life is blessed.
Yeah. So, as my co-host said, until the World Series is over, the Braves are World Series champs. So, although the season ended disappointingly for rookie Spencer Strider, he was voted NL Rookie of the Year. I think, yeah. He had one of the best seasons for a rookie pitcher of all time. Played really, really well. His season ended, or he wasn't himself in the playoffs after he was coming back from an oblique strain. But that's life. It is what it is. We'll be back next year. Nothing but good things for him.
Shout out to the stash, number 1. Number 2, I think that we probably have the number 1 and number 2 rookies in the National League, because there's no way that Mike Harris isn't right there.
Speaking of Mike Harris, man, Silver Slugger Award finalists: Matt Olson, Dansby Swanson, Austin Riley, Travis d'Arnaud, and Mike Harris. All Silver Slugger Award finalists, man. All of them deserve it to me, especially Mike Harris as a rookie came in playing well. Austin Riley is definitely the new face of the Braves. He's the next Chipper or the next Freddie. Well, I mean, it's depending on what they do with Dansby, but he's the next Freddie. Matt Olson came in and picked right up where Freddie left off.
Yep.
And Mike Harris was the catalyst that started the 14-game win streak that got us back into the division fight against the Mets. So, shout out to all of our Silver Slugger Award finalists. I'm sure they'll announce those soon. What else we got? We also got our Gold Glove finalists, Max Fried and our Gold Glove finalist, Travis d'Arnaud, and Matt Olson, and Dansby Swanson. There's been a familiar name in most of these posts.
Austin Riley.
Dansby Swanson.
Oh, well, yeah, him too. Yeah.
Dan the Man Swanson has been
Pay him.
one of them. And when it comes to the Braves, and all of Braves fans, everybody in the Braves fans,
Pay that man.
We are scared about Dansby leaving. We do have a really good farm system. We have Grissom. We have Ozzie coming back. But we do not want another Freddie Freeman situation where we lose a fan favorite who has been here from the beginning. So, Dan the Man. Think they're going to pay him?
Pay him number one, because you can't afford to have another Freddie Freeman situation. As well as that worked out, still wasn't the right thing to do. Get this one right, or you're going. The team is good, but you are going to alienate some Braves fans, myself. And from what I understand, what I've been reading, he's not asking for a ton of money. I think he's asking for 4 or 5 years, $100 million. And let me say that we're talking about sports here. In the realm of baseball, that's not a ton of money.
$100 million for 5 years in baseball. They are about to pay Aaron Judge $1 billion.
Have a baby by me, baby, be a billionaire.
They about to pay Aaron Judge $1 billion. He turned down $250 million and led the league.
Don't pay me basketball money. I'm a baseball player.
Mm-hmm. And it's about to happen. So the Braves have had a willingness to spend money. Yeah, a little bit. But what they have done, and Alex Anthopoulos has done, has figured out a way to, I don't know what he's saying to these Braves players, but most of the young players, he's given them time when he signs them to a point right where they get to their prime. We're in the middle of their prime is when they can go make more money. Dansby Swanson isn't one of those young players. He is, I would say, in the first half of his prime right now. He is performing admirably in the infield.
Yeah, you're a Silver Slugger finalist and a Gold Glove finalist and a World Series champ. You damn right. You damn right I am.
You got to do it.
What else you want from me?
You're gonna have to pay him. You're gonna have to pay him, and you paid Matt Olson all that. You paid him $185 million, or 100 whatever million, 6 years. So you might as well. I would pay Dansby the same thing you paid Matt Olson. If he's not asking for a ton of money,
no, he doesn't. He's what I'm reading. It says the organization will likely have to offer something in the range of 5 years between $100 million to $110 million. What the fuck are we waiting for?
I don't
understand. Pay that.
What is the conversation? Hey, Braves, if he's asking for 5 years, $110 million, what's that, $22 million a year? $21 million a year, $22 million a year.
Hey,
5 years, $110 million, y'all. But and he leaves. Don't let him leave for 5 years, $120 million, because we're going to cuss everybody out. And you know Atlanta fans are fickle, and I don't care because I'm going to be fickle that day. If y'all let Dansby Swanson leave for that amount of money when everybody else is paying a gajillion dollars, there's no need.
And he's the leader. He's I would say the unofficial leader, but they call him the sheriff. Like, he's the sheriff for the town around there. And we already lost our last sheriff with Freddie Freeman. You can't keep playing with chemistry with so much before you end up playing musical chairs and you end up ass out. And I don't want that to happen. I like this whole team.
Top to bottom.
You got to think about I like this team so much. I like the players that I don't really like.
Name one.
The DH. That's the reason I had to word it very carefully.
Aaron Rodgers,
because I don't support him and his old lady and their actions, but he's a damn good baseball player,
man. And you're right, man. And we are right now. Why everybody's saying, if you think about it, Yes, the Phillies are probably going to win the World Series because they are doing what the Braves did last year. But the Braves are set up to win for like another decade if you sign Dansby.
And that's the other part. If you lose him, you got to go find Matt Olson number 2, or you have to expect Grissom to be Dansby's
Grissom and Albies, and that's a lot. That's hard to live up to.
Because
I already told you what I want to do with Grissom. Put him in left field. Put him in left field and re-sign Dansby and go crazy.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
It's just, it fits. It fits. Don't play with that. It's a 101 win team. Mm-hmm. Don't trick yourself off here.
Don't trick it off.
That's all we want. At Anthopoulos, we have the ultimate, most faith in you. You put this team together piece by piece, quietly. So we got the faith in you, but it would hurt if we lost Dansby. Don't lose Dan the man. We like him. Splashcast supporter.
Splashcast supporter. He has liked some of our posts. We love him, man. Appreciate Dansby. And he's an Atlanta kid. He went to Marietta High School. And you know we have to like him because he went to Marietta High School and I called him an Atlanta kid. So, therefore, you know we are fond of you, Dan the man.
I stay out of Atlanta business because I think it's all Atlanta. All of that shit Atlanta to me. I'm from Augusta.
Man, that's like saying Burke County is Augusta.
I'm not insulted by that. You ever been to Burke County? You would say it was Augusta too. It's the bird dog capital of the world. Yeah. Where you from? Augusta? Burke County? What the hell? You mean everybody in your entire county goes to one school? That's it?
Yeah. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the Splashcast ATL edition of episode 76. If we didn't miss anything, Norwood, take us out.
We never did. All right, before we do that, let's take a moment here and soak it all in. The Braves are World Series champions. The Atlanta Falcons still in first place. The Hawks are in first place. Life is good. We are highly blessed. Reggie went to Jackson, Mississippi, and came back safely. I survived 2 different homecomings in one day. That is a personal record for me. With that said, we started the podcast with this. We will end the podcast with this. More Black baseball. It is clear that we need to say that more and to more people until we can have Black players, American-born Black players on all teams. They can be celebrated because it just does not make any sense to me. Number two, more Black cowboys and cowgirls. Number 3, the historically Black college university that you attended, your auntie attended, your cousin attended, you just know somebody who went over there, send some money to that university. I was playing around, but while I was at Texas Southern, I was just walking and we was talking, and I made that announcement. You came all the way over here, and there was people from everywhere. I bumped into a lady from the 757, and and when I said it, she was like, "You're right." But yeah, send some money to that school, the historically Black college university in the neighborhood that you live in, the one that you go to, the ones that you go tailgate at. Send some money over there. Help those people out so that we can uplift the Black community. And then finally, the greatest learning institution in all the world, the Hampton University. The greatest learning institution in all of the world. Send some money over there. We only ask for $18.68 on behalf of the Splashcast or in support of the Splashcast. We appreciate you. We thank you. We've had a wonderful kick-ass ATL edition. It feels good when your team. The air is cleaner, smells fresher. The sun is a little bit brighter on your face. Our teams are playing well. Life is good. Now that I've addressed all of that, I'll show you where you can find us. Tomorrow, Monday Night Raw. We will cover all the around the league, everything. And there's so much to cover. Basketball and football.
I'm going to go ahead and do this real quick.
Oh, my God. Yeah. You know what? Then next. Tuesday, ATL Edition. This is this episode that you are listening to right now. It will be out Tuesday.
And the Georgia Bulldogs are national champions, since we saying all the things that we are. Go ahead, brother.
Wednesday Splashcast. I'm trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do with that. I'm thinking, because I have a lot of songs to put out, trying to figure out how logistically to put them all out. But I'm considering a homecoming hangover playlist, and then the weekly playlist that I put out every week. That is my game plan right now. I feel homecoming hangover is very real and appropriate. So I feel like, putting those 2 playlists out should be sufficient. Thursday, for anybody who missed Monday Night Raw, which would be egregious, we will put it out there on all the DSPs for around the league. And then, of course, Saturday morning, we will be back betting beers again. I think we all broke even this week. And then, of course, next week after that, I will be headed back out. TSU will be playing Jackson State, and I will be out there to support.
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
And then this is our link tree.
Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to do it? This is our link tree, guys. You go to www.splashcast.com. This is where you can find the latest episode pinned right here. You can also find the latest 12-pack here. You can also find what we just talked about, the schedule. But if you go here and you click the link tree, it'll take you here. You can follow us on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, all at the Splashcast, Google Podcasts, Instagram at the Splashcast, Twitter at _the Splashcast, Twitch. Right now, when you click it, you don't even have to go. You don't even have to have Twitch to watch us live. You can just watch us live right here. See? Yes. Then we have TikTok as well. Norwood updates the TikTok. We have the bonus playlist, the master playlist, Twitter. Each one of our Instagram handles at Atlanta Raised and at Ludacris on Twitter. The master playlist. And then, of course, on Facebook, we have a separate Facebook page. Go search the Splashcast on Facebook. Join that community as well. And then you can find us everywhere on Anchor. I think that's it, man.
That is, of course, it. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, we've had a wonderful time. There's only one thing for me and Reg to do now. What's that, my friend? Hang out. We out this joint. Y'all be safe. I'll get some rest.
This is just a preview of all the smoke.